Right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And hey, the other day, one of the cult producers of the south of France just happened to walk in the door. A direct import now from Augustin Imports, domain Dumas, Gassac. This is the guy that kept Robert Mondavi out of southern France, and he was in the movie Mondovino, this producer was. And, very traditional kind of producer, but, well, I guess they just didn't want big United States winery Robert Mondavi moving in next door to them. They thought they would turn their part of little piece of paradise in southern France into Disney World. And maybe I don't disagree with them. But the wine's very good, and some of the stuff is purchased, like this first wine, this Picpoul from the Languedoc. Moulin de Gassac is the label on this one. Purchased from a co-op they've been working with for some time, and can be compared to Muscadet from the like a Muscadet from the Languedoc. I guess that's what the gentleman said that was here. Soils are clay and fossilized oyster shells. You really notice that minerality in the wine. Some green melon, lemon, citrus fruit, a bit of orange blossom in this wine also. Some exotic notes. That's what you get from Picpoul from the south of France. And very fresh wine on the palate, a slight briny character, probably very nice with fresh oysters, a little bit of a spritz on the finish to the citrus fruit and orange blossom. A good little wine for $16.25, a nice wine for a brown bag tasting. A lot of people have Picpoul in their bag of tricks. And then the Moulin de Gassac, they make a few entry-level wines that are under $10. This wine's a blend of 40% Grenache, 30% Syrah, 30% Sauvignon Blanc rather than 30% Claret. As I mentioned before, made from purchase for fruit, and the estate is all organic, or the fruit that they buy is all organic for this. A light bouquet of white flowers, white peach, wet stone, and really clean and focused. 2011 was a rough year because of the humidity at harvest, a bit of rot and mildew, but they did a bit of sorting and they came up with some pretty nice wines here. This wine's a very light and pleasant wine, but a good little wine, like I said, at under $10. Okay, the Rosé, the Pays de Héroldt. This Rosé is a blend of 20% Syrah, 40% Grenache, and 40% Carignan. Very light and pleasant bouquet of strawberry, raspberry fruit, pretty floral notes, some minerality showing there. And, a nice pleasant Rosé again, nothing shocking, but for $9, a really nice little everyday wine. And then we get into the big boy white, the Mas de Dumas Gassac, Haute de Vallée de Gassac, which it's from the Vin de Pays. It says in really fine print on the label here. It's hard to see. They're really trying to highlight this Gassac Valley, which is where it's from, and it's one of these wines. They don't have a lot of recognition in this area. This is really one of the only wines that people know of that know of fine wine, and it's made with, this wine's supposedly made with 20 other varietals other than the 4 that I mentioned, Chardonnay, Viognier, Petit Manseng, and Chenin Blanc. So kind of really interesting bouquet here. Melons, pears, apples, a note of kind of anise spice, white flowers. Starting to open up. I had this wine in the glass all day also, and at the end of the day, really showing some more minerality to this wine. That kind of chalky, seashelly minerality from this region really starting to shine through. And that tree fruit also really opening up nicely, and a lovely texture on the palate. Another thing you get from minerality, lovely roundness, and the lovely freshness in this wine just keeps developing a really most excellent juice for another white with 24 varietals in it. Anyways, Moulin de Gassac, I guess the people that own this property like to experiment, and they like to travel. They traveled to other places and found these different varietals, decided to plant them, and then they just decided to throw everything into their wine, and they said, well, it makes pretty good wine. So, 80% of the wine is those 4 varietals, and then the other 20% is a mixture of 20 varietals. All right, the Moulin de Gassac Vin de Pays Red, Syrah, Grenache, Carignan, and Mourvedre. Again, lovely ripe forward fruit in these Vin de Pays wines. Cherry pie-like, fresh berry pie-like aromas, pretty floral notes, a hint of spice there. Really soft, smooth tannins. Another easy drinking wine. And then the big boy, the Mas de Dumas Gassac. This is the wine right here, the 2010. And this estate has been around, I think, since 78. And, God, we had some 83 vintage whites in the store not too long ago. Amazing, the wine. Still drinking beautifully today. And this wine, atypical for a wine from this region. It's mostly Cabernet, a little Merlot, Petit Verdot, Petit Noir, Petit Pinot Noir, Syrah, and then a touch of Nebbiolo, Barbera, Tannat. Again, just a bunch of other varietals, a small percentage of that they've been experimenting with on this property, and really makes for a unique wine, but the Cabernet really stands out. A dark and meaty wine on the nose, currants and cherry fruit, kind of plum, cigar wrapper, a little smoky, kind of pencil lead notes coming out after a while, fresh earth, a really nice complexity on the nose. I don't know what I would compare this to, but you may guess it's Cabernet Sauvignon, but It's just a long shot in the brown bag tasting. You really notice the terroir in this wine starting to stand out as it opens up. A firm hand of acidity, lots of minerality. This wine is multi-layered, some bittersweet cocoa and dry tannins at the finish, but nicely balanced and very long. Most excellent juice at under $50. A really unique wine, and like I said, one of the cult wines of the south of France. All right, these guys do make a Rosé Frizzante from younger vine Cabernet Sauvignon and a little bit of Syrah in there this year. Charmat method, so, the bubbles are a little bigger, but, lovely fresh strawberry and currant berry fruits, and some pretty floral notes. They were making this since 1990, but commercialized it in 2000, and really nice juicy fruit coming through on the palate, kind of soda pop bubbles, and that strawberry and cherry fruit really lasting all the way to the finish with some floral notes. A very good Charmat wine, which I don't say very often. All right, that's what I had to drink with the folks from Dumas Gassac. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.